Okay, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleSlam. A huge thank you to everyone that checked out our last episode. It's still going up high in numbers on YouTube and on Facebook. So, yet again, a big thank you to everyone that tuned into our first episode of February. Yet again, thanks for all the messages in regards to Ken Shamrock. It was great to have Ken on with us at WrestleSlam via Sports Matters, and we have a big name coming at the end of the month, guys. Myself, Matt, and Phil should bring you a big one. We won't say much, but let's just say this guy's an absolute legend when it comes to wrestling. So do stay tuned. We won't release any information until it's done. That's the key rule. When it's recorded, then we will talk about it. But as I said, I'm joined by the legendary Matt Murphy and Philip Connolly. We're one of the three amigos for our travels all around the world and around Ireland. Lads, how have you been? It's wet, it's miserable in Cork, but how's things, Matt?
All good.
I'm already missing the travelling now that you mention this. I looked outside the window.
Yeah, I was only thinking about it, like, because my birthday is actually coming up and we would be going away again.
Yeah.
So,
like, we missed out on Prague the last time.
We did. I was thinking maybe we'll do something like, have like a random background of like, look, we're in Prague. Definitely. I'm probably going to put up like Tokyo just for the hell of it. So.
I really want to go to Tokyo.
We'll get that, lads. We'll get back to normality pretty soon. But yet again, we're still after the aftermath of the Royal Rumble, which is still trending. People are still talking about the Rumble, but there's a lot of stuff happening this weekend. Obviously, Takeover, Impact. Have a massive pay-per-view called No Surrender. Smackdown was pretty awesome, I must say. I like Smackdown. Raw was good. Nia Jax trending for the wrong reasons. So, Phil, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to let you take lead. What would you like to talk about? There's so much on your mind. So what should we talk about first?
I suppose we should just get Smackdown because it was on last night.
Yeah. What you reckon? Obviously, we're seeing a lot of Kevin Owens.
Yeah, like, I reckon, you seen it, obviously?
Yeah, I've seen the highlights.
Yeah, the thing with the Elimination Chamber I found bizarre. Yeah. I mean, like, Roman Reigns suddenly has this power where he can go, I'm not fighting in a chamber. It made no sense. But like,
there's a theory behind it.
What's that?
Do you reckon there could be a theory behind that, though?
Oh no, well, Kevin Owens will win the chamber and fight him on the night. But like,
yeah,
it's just it was really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the kind of thing about it, but the whole thing was like, this makes zero sense.
Yeah. So it's the first time. Yeah, sorry, man.
Oh no, I said when you said about Roman Reigns saying that he's not fighting, I think that kind of fits in well with like his character, like being the head of the table, that he thinks he can run the place, that he is the boss. I think that kind of fits in with him, so I won't complain about that.
Oh yeah, but I'm more like that he suddenly has the power that he can do this and this has to happen. But like,
we're looking at the card right now. Obviously, the card is subject to change, right? But obviously, Reigns will face the winner of the SmackDown Elimination Chamber. Now, where you've got Drew McIntyre actually in the Elimination Chamber. So, is it the case, right, that say the winner of the Elimination Chamber wins, they go straight into a match with Roman Reigns?
Yeah. Basically, that's what they're doing,
Yeah. I like it, though. I like it because to me, it's like, all these peasants are fighting and then you get your shot at the king.
Yeah.
Will that be like on the night of the Elimination?
Yeah, on the night, straight after.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That's intense. Because part of me still feels like we're going to get Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
that's going to be as well.
Yeah,
that is good.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like, it's an interesting thing, Elimination Chamber. Obviously, we've got McIntyre versus AJ versus Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton versus Sheamus versus The Miz. Now, The Miz obviously has Money in the Bank. Obviously, Sheamus and Drew have a bit of a feud going on. I just hope The Miz doesn't cash in because I want to see Drew and Sheamus fight for the title.
That's WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to see this because, like, I used to look up their career back with Irish Whip Wrestling, if anyone remembers those days. So it'd be class to kind of like them going back on those times, as in for us, like in the European like wrestling crowd, be like, oh yeah, I remember seeing them in that show. It's unreal seeing them at WrestleMania. That's just me thinking about that. It'd be unreal.
Yeah. like it's as I say, we're still in kind of unknown territory, but Elimination Chamber looks quite good. Obviously, Owens versus Uso versus King Corbin versus Sami Zayn versus Cesaro versus Bryan. Lads, I want to see Cesaro.
It would be brilliant.
Get a title.
Really, but I reckon because of where they're going, it'll be Kevin Owens.
Yeah. It's just bizarre. And there's talks that Cesaro's contract's actually due to end.
Yeah, I think he just signed a new one the other day.
I hope he did, because obviously he's been promised stuff. You know, I just want to see him fulfill, because, like, you know, we're seeing all these great wrestlers like Mark Henry, and they're being asked questions, and supposedly he's the strongest guy on the roster. Like, he's just a freak nature.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like last night, he was used in a setup because Seth Rollins came back, and Seth Rollins came back with his old music, "Burn It Down."
Yeah.
Which was brilliant.
Loved it.
But he was used in progression for a storyline that's going to kick off soon with Bryan and Rollins.
Yeah, I feel like Kevin Owens might win the Elimination Chamber, but I would love to see Seth Rollins versus Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. And winner will get to face the WWE Champion, Universal Champion. That would be an unreal match. I see them going down. I'll be pulling for Cesaro because, like, I think it's about Cesaro's time at this moment. Like, because I feel
I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to push him into main events.
Yeah, and even if Daniel Bryan wins, it would be like still unreal seeing him in the title picture again.
Yeah.
No, we have to congratulate Keith Lee. Obviously, he got engaged to fellow wrestler Mia Yim. That's great news for Keith Lee. Obviously, he's a great guy. Absolutely delighted. We have NXT Vengeance Day, lads. It's upon us this Sunday. No, there's some great matches. Obviously, the match we're all looking forward to is Balor versus Pete Dunne. That is going to be
absolutely. That's 10 years in the making.
Yeah, 10 years in the making. We're obviously going to see Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez. They're all going to fight in the triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. Lads, I have a feeling Toni Storm's going to win.
She could do. Like, Io Shirai's had this belt for about 8 months.
And there's a lot of promo stuff on WWE at the moment with Toni Storm.
Yeah. Toni Storm is without a doubt the future of just the business in general.
Yeah, I'm going to pull for Toni Storm as well because WWE is getting behind her as of recently, like Jerry mentioned. Or if Io Shirai wins, she's going to try and make Toni Storm look good to show that she is ready for the battle. Like, so, I'm pulling for Toni Storm.
Yeah. Any chance from Mercedes Martinez, Phil?
I don't think so.
No.
I think she's at the point in her career now where she's just going to make people look good.
Yeah. I agree.
And just kind of going back there to the women, there's talk of introducing a new women's title on NXT.
What do you reckon? It'd be kind of like, you know, the way you have Raw and SmackDown, kind of way
like belts, maybe, like tag team belts.
Yeah. I think it's a good call. I think, you know, obviously you have the North American Championship, which is quite big. NXT Championship, Women's Championship. Like, going to tag team action, guys. You know what I mean?
Shotzi Blackheart. Oh, she's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for herself and Ember Moon to win because I could see them having a pretty good rivalry with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
I actually think Ember Moon's going to turn on Shotzi, but not for a little bit.
Not for a while. It's obviously confirmed. It's obviously the final of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and the winners also receive a future shot at the Women's Tag Team Championship. So, Phil, a match, you reckon, Ember Moon and Blackheart?
I actually was hoping that Raquel and Dakota would win, but since they added that tag title thing, not a chance.
Yeah,
it's going to be Blackheart and Moon.
I would see them winning because, like, I know that they wouldn't be the first, like, proper tag team to think of. It feels like they just randomly got together. But I can see them being a pretty good, like, babyface, like, tag team champions against the top tag team heels of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, as I said before. So I'm putting for them just because I like both of them, and that would be a pretty good rivalry to see.
I'm actually hoping that they put it onto the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, me too. MSK lads versus the Grizzly Young Veterans. Obviously, we know Zach Gibson quite well. That's the men's winner faces NXT Tag Team Champions. I hope, like, Phil, this is a hard one to call it MKS.
It's an impossible match to call because Grizzled lost the final last year.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined going to go with Grizzled Young Vets, to be honest.
Yeah, I would go with Grizzled Young Vets as well because I remember they lost the finals last year and they've already proven themselves to be a proper serious tag team. I feel like if they win this one, this would be like good retribution in some way for them. So I will go for them.
Oh, I love that. Obviously, Balor or Pete Dunne, lads, potentially match of the year if it goes according to plan.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be the best match of the pay-per-view. Now, I feel like Balor will win, but like what I said with Tony Storm about if she loses, she'll look good. He's gonna make Pete Dunne look good to show that he is champion material as well.
Yeah.
But either way, I feel like we're gonna go into an intense match. Yeah. Like Bill said before, it's 10 years in the making, so look forward to this one.
Matt, have you liked Balor's return to NXT? Obviously, the brand is huge, but he's obviously stepped up the game yet again by returning to NXT.
I absolutely love Balor's return because I feel like it's kind of like him showing who he really is because I already do perform on NXT then on the main roster because I remember he had a good title with the Intercontinental Championship, but when he lost this, I know he kind of went on a bit of a hiatus. When he came on to NXT, it kind of feels right seeing him on the brand, especially with him being the champion because he knows how to make a title look good and he knows how to make others look good, especially with the new lone wolf-like gimmick that he's going for. So I'm happy to see him on NXT. If he comes on the main roster, great, but I think it's safe to say with Balor on NXT is the place that everyone wants to be at the moment rather than the main roster because we don't know why. So I love that.
I'm actually hoping Balor fights Cross at WrestleMania.
Oh, it'll be some match, lads. Cross is unbelievable, lads, isn't he? He's obviously the injury was unfortunate. Same thing that happened to Balor when he won the Universal title, but Cross is some lad, to be fair to him.
But the whole thing with him and Scarlett is just perfect.
Yeah. But they work well together, they really do. Right, lads, Nia Jax, obviously, she's got a bit of Irish in her. It seems as though she hurt her hole. Me hole, she said. There's a lot of memes on Twitter and Facebook. Phil, what you make of it? Obviously, it's sometimes something like that can boost the popularity of a wrestler.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. It's great. She can come out. She come out and put up a positive response. She said something about it. I can't remember what she said.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a great thing. I think it just brings more eyeballs onto the product. So.
Yeah, I feel like when I saw that on Raw, I actually had remember the I forgot his name. Titus O'Neil's great fall at the Great Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I feel like, is WWE going to scrap this or are they going to use it? No, they kept using it as a running joke. I feel like that's what they're doing with Nia Jax with me hole joke. She's going to use that in a positive way. She already posted up on Instagram making a joke about it. So, in the wrong way, like Jerry said. So that's going to be
sometimes that is the blessing of a superstar, isn't it, Phil? We've seen obviously Titus O'Neil and people make blunders, you know what I mean? And it kind of propels them.
It does, yeah. And it also kind of distracts her because she was getting a lot of negative hate in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
All that,
yeah, and I think this kind of, I suppose she probably sat back and laughed about it more than anything.
Definitely. We're obviously pretty close, lads, to seeing WrestleMania and seeing how the whole attendance worked out. Now, the feedback from the Super Bowl is pretty good.
Yeah. So, the issue with that is there was a lot of people around outside the stadium.
Yeah.
That's what they didn't like. But overall, but other than that, I think it went well.
Yeah, no, I most definitely did. Now, I'm going to switch, lads. Obviously, Impact. Tonight we have, there's always big pay-per-views with Impact. No Surrender, loving the name. It's all about Tommy Dreamer. Obviously, there's some great matches there, but Tommy Dreamer.
He's turns 50 today.
Yeah.
He turns 50 today.
He's hit a huge milestone. Happy birthday, Tommy. He's obviously fighting Rich Swann for Impact World Championship. Is Tommy going to come away with the win, Phil?
I love it, but no.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. No, Moose has been groomed for the next title.
Yeah.
Moose.
I'm kind of pulling for Tommy because I kind of feel like, he is at the peak of his career. So if he wins this, at least this title it'll last for about a month, at least it will make him like, known and more in the wrestling industry as well. So I'm pulling this because I've always had a soft spot for Tommy Dreamer. So
it's hard to believe in his peak days in ECW. He was only in his 20s. He obviously looked, he always looks like the same Tommy Dreamer.
I know, yeah.
But like he was in his early 20s in ECW, which is bizarre.
Yeah, and he wasn't wrestling. He was actually booking the show as well.
Yeah.
When he was that age. But it's crazy. You feel like he's been around for so long.
Yeah, it was absolutely surreal.
Yeah.
To be fair, when he was born with the goatee on his face. That's how fucking hardcore he was, lads, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. Speaking of the matches, it's a 3-way tag team match for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. The Good Brothers versus Chris Sabian and James Storm versus the Private Party. Obviously, they have Matt Hardy.
Big money match. Yeah, big money match.
Big Money Matt. I like it. I like his character. Matt, do you like this whole Money Matt character? It's quite good.
Yeah, I feel like Matt Hardy, he can put on any gimmick he wants these days. Went from, version 1 to back being the Hardy Boys again, then to Broken Matt Hardy, now Money Matt. I absolutely love it. I feel like you can do the most ridiculous gimmick and he can make it just pure gold. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this with Matt Hardy. But when it comes to the tag team, I'm going to go with the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Because they've already been so powerful alongside with Kenny Omega, part of the Bullet Club reunion. So I'm going to go for Bullet Club, the Good Brothers, because they're getting popular and getting well known.
I reckon they're building up for the Young Bucks versus the Good Brothers.
Yeah. Seems to be all right. Seems to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rich Swann versus Tommy Dreamer. You both could have leaned towards Rich Swann.
Yeah, Rich, but then Moose will beat Rich. And
Moose actually isn't on the card as far as I know, is he?
He isn't, but I expect his presence somewhere.
Yeah. TGP, Theodore James Perkins, a.k.a. TJ Perkins. Rohan Raju. Obviously...
Yeah, I reckon... Yeah, I know I was going to say that. I reckon that TJ will lose.
Yeah. Obviously, it's such... let's just say the X Division Championship is quite extraordinary when it comes to Impact Wrestling. It's always great matches when that belt's on the line.
Yeah, like if you go back to the history of it, it's an insane history of talent that held that belt.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. From Samoa Joe to Chris Daniels, AJ Styles.
Yeah.
I feel like when that title is on the line, no matter who I'm pulling for, I know I'm going to be going in for a good match. Not like I turn my brain off. I'm just going to saying that I'm invested in this match. Whoever's going to win, I know it's going to be a great match. But that's how I feel like that title means.
There's obviously a lot of tag team matches on this. Obviously, Eddie Edwards and Marco Dana. Obviously, we know Matt well versus Brian Myers and Hernandez. We have Ace Austin versus Blair Christian, Chris Bay, The Fairy, Josh Alexander, Suicide, Trey Miguel, and Willie Mack. That's obviously a triple threat. Revolver. I love the way they do their matches. Just pure out of the ordinary.
Willie Mack is some special talent. If anybody's not seen his matches, go watch his match with Moose last month. Yeah,
but he's a former Impact X Division champion as well, isn't he?
He's a former X, yeah.
I
reckon for this match, I reckon Chris Bay.
Yeah, Chris Bay. It's interesting to see the Fairy lads. Remember the Fairy in WWE? He's actually still there.
Yeah. And he's still quite young as well. He was very young when he first came in.
He was 21 when he first came in, as I remember,
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him in Neptune Stadium in Cork. He's only 36 or 35,
Yeah. That's all he is.
Unbelievable. God. Yeah. Now, obviously, we have the 6 knockout tag team match as well. There's obviously a 6-person tag team match. They're obviously trying to fill the rosters, which is great. Obviously, trying to get as many, superstars on the roster. But it's all about Rich Swann and obviously Tommy Dreamer, obviously the Good Brothers versus the Private Party, Chris Sabian and James Storm.
It's just great to see that the champ is on it, Diana Perezzo.
Yeah, she's in the 6 knockout tag team match. Obviously, she's with Kimberly and I think Susan. Obviously, Jordine Grace, Jazz, And
I love Susan because Susan plays off that whole thing in America with Karen.
Yeah, I love that. Kimberly's a really good athlete as well. Obviously, Jazz, we know Jazz well. She's been around a long time, guys, Jazz. And ODB is an absolute legend.
Yeah.
An absolute legend. But I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be pretty good. I must say. We'll have all the results next week, as always. So, yet again, lads, who's impressed you this week? Obviously, Big E. He had a great scalp, great victory against Nakamura.
For me, who stood out the most is actually Black Taurus from Impact.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like an animal.
He is.
He was very impressive this week.
Yeah. He has been. What about Seth Rollins, man? Obviously, Seth Rollins is back. Do you think he's on the verge of a big push and back to normality where he's main eventing shows?
I think I would like to see him going back in the main card, but I can see him going back in the mid card again. Because I've always seen Seth Rollins as kind of one of the wrestlers who would go into the mid card, into the United States champion or the Intercontinental champion, back to the World Championship, and then back again in the mid card. He can work both ways.
Yeah.
I think I'm going for the United States Intercontinental champion because I feel like with that on his shoulders, that around his waist, with still continuing gimmick he's holding on to in the Messiah, he can make it like great again. I feel like, so I can see him going down those roads. But when it comes to who stand out the most, has to be Kenta for me, for the obvious reasons of like AEW now joining forces with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think because that's what the wrestling community is talking about.
Yeah.
You know, the New Japan versus AEW, which wrestler is going to face who. So to me, I think Kenta, for that reason, when he came out and attacked Jon Moxley, United US title of the IPG. So that's where
that match is actually happening next week, I think.
Yeah.
Next week, I heard about that.
Yeah. Like AEW, lads, it's always doing big numbers. Obviously, there's reports at the moment that they've registered the name Forbidden Door. And
that's for Tony Khan.
Yeah, it's like because like kind of looked at like it's like interesting. What's that about, But obviously, there's a lot of theories there, and people could have thought it was going to be a pay-per-view or it was going to be something else. But Phil, did you check out Dynamite Wednesday? Obviously, there were some great matches.
Yep, the main event was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also it led to a lot of memes again because Jon Moxley hit Omega the Poppy.
Yeah, I've seen that. Interesting, but look, they know how to build up their memes on Twitter and stuff.
There's 2 or 3 things that bug me about AEW at the moment. The one is Sting constantly having to have this thing where he's having a chat.
Yeah.
And also the fact that they have a pay-per-view in 2 weeks and they're not building anything.
Is it just a case they're caught up? Obviously, we see Tony Schiavone always with Sting.
There's too much going on.
Yeah.
To be honest, lads, I honestly don't know where AEW is going at times. I think they do have like a good roster. They do know how to put on good matches, but it feels like if you miss out on one episode, you're missing out on something big. Like Sting, like as Phil said, is just chatting. I don't even know what the Nero wedding storyline is going on. I haven't been really invested in that. So
the only one that's going on is the big inner circle where Sammy Guevara's left.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That could be leading to something big, or with Sammy Guevara going down in the singles competitors. I would like to see.
Yeah,
but like obviously Kenta is going to be huge, lads. Obviously they brought him in and they've really booked him well.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the first of many to come. To be honest with you, I reckon once this kind of pandemic eases a bit, we'll see more of him.
Do you think we're going to see the Rainmaker Okada coming?
Jay White, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, that'll build up him huge because I feel like everyone who knows New Japan Pro Wrestling in passing knows of the Rainmaker himself. Like so.
Actually, he was trending recently because Bischoff was talking about him. That Vince Russo made him a cabbie driver in TNA.
Yeah. Bizarre.
Back in 2011, I think.
It's mental how you can get booked in. And
Keito was his name.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was a spin-off of like the Green Hornet. If you've never seen that.
Yeah, I remember the Green. I remember the original with Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Surreal. Something that bizarrely actually popped, because for some reason I got a flashback there, but I always remember when I met Chris Hero, he was wearing a green ball on top. But there was actually a rumor, guys, that apparently he was going to be in the Shield. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
It was CM Punk's idea, how he said it was going to be John Moxley, but Dean Ambrose at the time, Seth Rollins, and Chris Hero. I did hear about that until they stuck with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
It would have been unreal, because I would, if at the time, if it was Chris Hero, I would freak out, because I was following them at the time. So it would be unreal seeing them.
Yeah. Mad. Interesting. So, lads, obviously, you're going to be watching the pay-per-views all this weekend. Obviously, Impact and Takeover. Phil, you're always looking forward to them.
Yeah.
Do you think Takeover can steal the show?
Yeah, I think so. The main event is very good, so yeah, I think that'll be the better of the two shows.
Yeah. Matt, what you reckon, my man? Are you going to try and stay up, or are you busy?
No comments. But no, I'm going to stay up for Takeover, definitely. Like what Phil said, the main event is kind of like the bread and butter of the whole show, so I'm looking forward for that.
Yeah. Can we expect any surprises? Obviously, Takeover, there's always something bigger that could happen at Takeover, but, are we going to see belts change? It remains to be seen. Will Balor still be champion, or will Pete Dunne? I think will he be the first to win the UK? And yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think it's too soon, but he'll win it eventually.
I can see a random appearance by Edge, probably spearing whoever wins the title. Not like to call him out, as it just to show a message, as in that he'll always be watching, like you said before. That would be something I would like to see.
Yeah.
Will Edge come out tonight? Well, not tonight. Will Edge come out Sunday and challenge Balor for Mania? Is it possible that you see that?
Anything's possible, but I don't think he'd challenge him.
I can't see that happening, but if it was happening, it would be unreal. As remember, Charlotte Flair did that with the women's NXT title,
and it was savage. I think the fact that Balor is still there, so Balor is the champion. He went back to NXT. Obviously, he was a big name on the Raw and Smackdown rosters, and but I just have a sneaky feeling that Edge is going to challenge him, given the match that we can have, because obviously Cross, and we've seen him get injured. He's back. That does appeal to people. Balor versus Cross, WrestleMania, Edge versus whoever, but then you have people saying AJ and Balor. How are we going to see that crossover of AJ going back to NXT?
That's the thing. I'm actually thinking AJ is fighting Triple H.
Yeah. It's interesting. Matt, what do you reckon? Who do you reckon Balor will face at Mania?
It's a tough one, actually. I think I would like to see him either. I know we kind of said this before with Seth Rollins facing them, but either Cesaro or Daniel Bryan. And the reason I'm saying that is because Edge even said himself that the NXT title is now important to WWE. So even if we can see them jumping on the face against Finn Balor about the title, that will be something unreal to see. I know I keep praising Daniel Bryan and Cesaro, maybe something's going to happen with them, but that's something I like to see. But if AJ Styles is going to be there as well, because he knows NXT as well, and plus, he said even if he's finished with wrestling, he would like to be a talent scout. He said it in one stream, so he might want to support the lower talents in NXT, lower talents. So
yeah. I got asked a really good question just before we go, lads. Right? I got asked a question. Who do I think was the greatest ever NXT champion? Now, Seth Rollins, we believe, was the first to win it, right? Obviously, Big E won it, Bo Dallas, Neville, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens was a winner, Balor won it. Obviously, he's still champion now. Samoa Joe, Nakamura, Bobby Roode, McIntyre. I think Aleister Black was the champion, NXT champion.
Johnny Gargano,
obviously Adam Cole, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross. But Phil, who has been your greatest NXT champion?
I think you have to give to Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Just for the series of matches and how good the matches were.
Yeah, I think it has to be Kevin Owens, because he bet Sami Zayn within the first match of the title match, and people who doesn't even know who he is, Ring of Honor was like, whoa, this fella's new. He's like 2 months in. He's already champion. So he kind of like showed off. And of course, he brought it to the main roster against John Cena. So that's how people got invested with NXT properly. So kind of a fearless champion. So I would say Kevin Owens, in my opinion.
Love it. Right, guys, it's an honor as always having you on. Looking forward to next week's show. And obviously we have a special guest on at the end of the month, and we'll have someone in between, no doubt. So just stay tuned to our Facebook and Sports Matters page. We're in the process of perhaps setting up a single Facebook page for WrestleSlam. It's been mentioned a number of times, so I think maybe it's good to have just a separate WrestleSlam page as well. That's something we're looking at. A website will come in due course. But Matt and Phil, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us today, guys. Yep. It's an absolute pleasure. And enjoy the weekend. Be safe, be careful, social distance as always. And we'll catch you all next week, boys.
And we can't go anywhere with the fucking weather. But let's move on. And also, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Happy Valentine's, Matt. Happy Valentine's, Phil. The show is going to go out Sunday, so the show is actually going out on Valentine's. So we're going to dedicate the show to everybody out there. Have a good Valentine's, and we'll see you soon, guys.
Yep. Cheers.
Yeah.